After almost 60 years of strong bipartisan support, Congress has cut all federal funding for public media, stripping away a critical pillar of support for local stations like ours. At Vermont Public, we'll lose at least $2 million this year. If all our sustaining members increase their gift by $7 per month, we'll close that gap for good. Increase your gift today and help close the gap at vermontpublic.org/update.
From Vermont Public, this is The Frequency. I'm Mitch Wertley. It's Wednesday, September 24th, and here are today's headlines. A former assisted living facility in Rutland could become much-needed transitional housing for families in crisis. Mary Cohen is CEO of Cornerstone Housing Partners. The organization would convert the former Loretto Homes Annex into 14 to 16 units with shared kitchens and bathrooms. Some neighbors, though, have expressed concerns about using the space for a homeless shelter. Cohen says families would be vetted, and the nonprofit Brock Community Action would provide them with wraparound support services.
Why not take care of the homeless people in your neighborhood responsibly, and have a safe, respectable place for them to go?
Cohen says Cornerstone also wants to build permanent, affordable apartments in the main portion of the building. The group can't move forward, though, with that plan unless zoning rules change. Cohen says the city is working on that. Vermont's education secretary says the state needs to prioritize expanding access to pre-kindergarten. Zoe Saunders joined a conversation about pre-K on Vermont Edition yesterday. She talked about a 2023 law that tasked a committee with expanding pre-K to full day for all Vermont 4-year-olds. Saunders co-chaired the committee and says everyone agreed on the idea of the assignment.
When we think about funding our education system, we have consensus that we need to focus on pre-K as part of that entire continuum. And there's really very explicit and clear language within the letter of the law to focus on pre-K.
But Saunders says Vermont will not hit an initial target of summer 2026 for the expansion. She says the state has to balance the desire for more pre-K access with a mandate to reduce overall education spending. Burlington Electric Department is temporarily increasing rebates for electric vehicles starting in October. Rebates for purchases or leases of new EVs will increase to $5,000 for all customers. Customers with eligible incomes could get up to $5,700. This is a 54% increase from the rebate's current levels. Federal tax credits for electric vehicles are expiring at the end of the month. And Burlington Mayor Emma Mulvaney-Stanek says in a statement the city's rebate increase is a response to that. The offer for Burlington Electric customers will be available until the end of next year or when incentive funds run dry, whichever comes first. And she adds the increase will help the city work towards its 2030 net zero energy goal. Vermont's U.S. senators are urging President Trump to recognize an independent Palestinian state. They've joined 6 of their colleagues to back a proposed resolution that calls for the creation of a, quote, two-state solution. It includes a demilitarized Palestinian state alongside a secure Israel. Senator Peter Welch met with the Permanent Observer of Palestine to the United Nations in New York this week to announce his support for the plan. Welch recently told Vermont Public he realizes adopting this approach will be very difficult as President Trump strongly opposes it.
That is like wishful thinking at this point, and it's unfortunate because ultimately we want to have peace and dignity for Israel, and we want to have that for Palestinians, free of Hamas.
Senator Bernie Sanders also supports an effort to ban future U.S. arms sales to Israel until there's a ceasefire in the war in Gaza. Coming up, square dancing has evolved quite a bit from what you might remember in grade school. Vermont Public's Nina Keck recently visited a square dancing club in Pittsford that's been meeting for nearly 50 years and keeping things fresh along the way. That's after this.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency, where support comes from SRH Law, believing that values and mission still matter. When you need good counsel for your values-based work, whether it's securing our energy future, building affordable and sustainable communities, or advancing a values-led economy, they're here to help you make a difference. SRHLaw.com. Making a difference is our practice.
Square dancing is a popular activity for millions of people all over the world, but it can be more than just a hobby. Research shows it's a great way to fight many of the negative effects of aging. To learn more, Vermont Public's Nina Keck visited the Cast-Off Eights. It's a square dancing club that's been active in the Rutland area for nearly 50 years.
When Chittenden resident Corey Wood had a stroke at the age of 40, he says life got difficult.
The first couple of years, there was a lot of recovery from it, you know what I mean?
Wood was struggling with balance and memory problems, so his friend offered a suggestion. Try square dancing lessons. Wood says he wasn't sure at first, but he gave it a shot, and it helped.
It did. It healed that. It helped me greatly, get my balance back.
Nearly 30 years later, Wood is still at it with the Cast-Off Eights in Pittsford. On a recent Wednesday night, members of the club gathered at the Lothrop Elementary School for their first meeting after summer break. Some chat on the sidelines, while others pair up and form 8-person squares on the gymnasium floor. The dress code is casual, no poofy skirts, and the music is much more eclectic than I expected. Who knew the Commodore's classic Brick House was good for square dancing? Orwell resident Peter Tobin stands up on stage with a microphone directing traffic. He's known as the caller. As Tobin cues things like do-sa-do, right and left grand, star promenade, and California twirl, the dancers weave in and around each other in intricate patterns. Club president Rita Wood says beginner dancers need to learn approximately 60 different steps. Some of the more advanced calls have sounds that go with them.
Double pass through track 2.
So he will call track 2, and everybody does the toot toot, and the outside person goes around the outside track, the inside person goes on the inside track.
It sounds complicated.
Once you learn the calls, it's not. You just have to remember how to do the sequence of calls. So that's the big thing.
Time is set aside during the weekly dance sessions to teach them, and they build from week to week. That mental challenge is just one reason 81-year-old Joanne Brown of Rutland says she enjoys square dancing. She and her husband started years ago.
And now I'm a single. So my husband's deceased, so I keep doing it because I had so much fun, and there was a group that I knew, and I could do it.
Those social connections are important as people age and become more isolated. Just touching another human being, something many seniors get less of as spouses and other loved ones die, can be crucial to well-being. Research shows regular social dancing can fight depression and improve motor skills. It can also boost memory and cognitive function.
I think it's a little bit like chess with people.
This is 85-year-old Ellen Greenberg of Bethel.
Figuring out where to go. Sometimes the calls are fairly intricate, and it's just knowing how to work together, and people have to be gentle and not berate people if they make a mistake.
For Corey Wood, dancing didn't just help improve his coordination and memory after his stroke. He even found love on the dance floor and wound up marrying Rita, the club president.
And we just celebrated 20 years. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. Burn, burn, burn.
As one group finishes a dance, their circle contracts inward as they thank each other. They're all grinning. Everybody smiles when they're here, another dancer tells me. For Vermont Public, I'm Nina Keck in Pittsford.
Thank you very much for your
time. Thanks for listening to The Frequency today. We had additional reporting from Nina Keck, Michaela Lafrac, Adia Golston, and Bob Kinzel. Today's episode was edited by Stephanie Colombini, and our music is by Blue Dot Sessions. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. Talk to you tomorrow.